Ayo, what's up everyone? Welcome to another The K in K-Pop podcast, brought to you by yours truly, Serena. Now, on this episode, we're going to be taking a deep look into K-pop concerts. Now, I know some of you might have never been to a K-pop concert, and you might be thinking, what's so special about a K-pop concert? It's just another concert. Well, trust me, K-pop concerts are not just another concert. It's on a whole nother level. There's so much to unpack and analyze, and we're gonna do it all on this podcast. So let's get to it. Now, I know a lot of you are probably really excited about this topic. So am I. But since there's so much you can talk about K-pop concerts, how this podcast is gonna be kind of laid out, and the structure of it is actually going to be an interview style, which I personally think is really cool because you get to hear personal and real life experiences from people and just see how they experience K-pop concerts. And then we're going to really dig deep into those experiences and use them as evidence to really answer the ultimate question of how do fans experience K-pop concerts, and how does this reflect the broader role of live music events in shaping the consumption of music for today's youth. So, to get started, I'll first introduce me and a little bit of my background. But my name is Serena, I'm 20, I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I've been a K-pop fan since 2018, so now it's been almost 6 or 7 years now. And the first group that I really liked personally is BTS, which you can for sure see by all the BT21 stuffed animals and the BTS posters up there. But my first concert experience was in 2018, and that has been one of my favorite concerts because that was one of the first concerts that I actually went to that was on a really big scale, and it was at United Center, and I went with my mom, which was a really cool experience and like mother-daughter bonding time, and that's like a memory that I'll never forget, and I just personally love so much. Now I love a lot of different boy groups such as like NCT, like all the subunits, the boys, Stray Kids, ATEEZ, and Hypen, TXT, so much more. I love listening to the music, and I love going to the concerts. I've go to a lot of concerts actually. I've been to like ATEEZ and TXT, Stray Kids, Blackpink, the boys, and Hypen, BTS of course, and a lot of others, and I've seen them multiple times, which has been really cool seeing the artists grow from just over the past years, and seeing them move from little theaters to arenas to like stadiums, and that's just, yeah, it's just been really cool to see like the growth throughout the years. Now, that's enough about me, but for this podcast actually, I was able to get in contact with two of my friends. One is from Osaka, Japan, and the other is from Seoul, South Korea. And although unfortunately they aren't able to be here present physically in this podcast, I was able to get in touch with them and interview and kind of ask some of these questions to really get their perspective on concerts in Japan and South Korea. And then I'll also use my own experiences with my concerts in the USA, so we can really compare, contrast the different differences or culture etiquettes, and yeah, the whole K-pop concert experience. And hopefully that all these questions will really lead us to the answer of how live music events in all countries shape the consumption of music for today's youth. So let's get to it. Okay, so we're gonna just get started right away. So I'm gonna first do a little introduction of my friends about who they are, so you guys can get to know them and kind of see where they're coming from, and maybe also relate to some of the experiences that they've had, so you guys can get to know them a little bit better before we get into the nitty-gritty questions. Yeah, we're just gonna go question by question. My friend from Osaka, Japan, her name is Risa, and she's 20 years old, And she got into K-pop when she was a junior high student when she watched BTS on TV, and she thought that they were really cool. Some of her favorite groups are BTS, NCT, and Rise. And she's been to a lot of concerts, so I'm just gonna kind of name some of the groups that she has been. But she's been to BTS, 17, NCT 127, NCT Dream, and Hypen, Treasure, and Rise, and yeah, she's been to like multiple of their concerts too. And she said her first K-pop concert actually was the BTS Love Yourself tour. The concert that she said that was most memorable for her was the NCT 127 The Link, because her seat was just really close and she was like the third row, and it was like right in front of the stage, so she could really see them. And also the NCT Dream, the Dream Show 2, was really good because she said that she had a lot of interactions with her favorite idol, which we call Bias, and like he read one of her signs and slogans that she had, so that's why it was really memorable for her. Which honestly, when I heard and like read her answers, I was actually just like, oh my gosh, it was like very similar to me, because my first concert, like I said before, was the BTS Love Yourself tour, and the NCT 127 The Link tour in Chicago. I was also the third row from the stage, and I just felt that was just such a coincidence. It's so similar. But anyways, moving on to my friend from Seoul, South Korea. Her name is Jame, and she's 20 years old too. And how she got into K-pop was that since she is from Korea, she kind of just grew up listening to it because her mom often played it and listened to it. But she said that she kind of first started consuming K-pop around 9 or like 10 years old. And how she got into it was because at the time the song Good Day by IU came out, and it was a really big hit in Korea. And she said her mom would just always be playing it and be playing on the radio. So then it kind of made her like want to search up videos on YouTube, and she like slowly, fell into the rabbit hole, is what I like to call it. Yeah, and then that's kind of started her K-pop journey as like an actual K-pop stan. And some of her favorite artists are NCT Dream, 17, and New Jeans. And she has also been to a lot of concerts over the years. So some of the ones that she pointed out was like BTS, 17, NCT 127, NCT Dream. She also has been to a lot of like award shows. So at those like end of the year award shows in Korea, a lot of artists, they always perform, and they mostly perform like their newest songs and stuff, so that in itself is just a whole nother experience, which I personally would love to experience. For Jame, the first concert that she experienced was also the BTS Love Yourself tour, which I actually found that so cool that the three of us, all the same age, and the first concert we went to was the same tour, but in like 3 different countries. And she said her most memorable one was also that first BTS Love Yourself tour, because it's like the first concert that she's ever been to, and although she was like on the 4th level and they were like a tiny dot, but just the whole experience and the atmosphere, it was so new, and it's just so different and just so memorable, that first experience. The second, she said, was the 17 tour, because the front like barricade of the like stage, so she got a lot of interactions with them and she was able to see them really clearly, so that was also another memorable one for her. So that was kind of the questions that I asked them so we can like get to know them. And just some things that I kind of like want to point out was just all our experiences were very similar in that our favorite concerts have been like the first concert that we went to, which I also agree, like I will never forget that first concert that I've been to, because it was just something that I never experienced. Like everyone was so friendly, and like I said, like this is the whole reason why I'm like doing this podcast and going into like K-pop concerts, because it's not just a concert, it's a whole experience. And yeah, I just found it so cool that all our experiences were the same. And one of our favorite concerts have been the first concert that we've been to, even though we're like really far away, which I was also for the BTS concert, so they were like nosebleeds. Also, like my other friends who said that another memorable concert for them was when they're really close to the stage, and I would totally agree with that because for me, when I was at the 17 concert, I was also like third row from the stage, and like I got a lot of interactions and they like kind of pointed at me, like, and I got on like the big screen, and that is just very memorable. So I think those like two things are really like what makes a concert memorable sometimes, is one, being like close and having those interactions with the idols, and then two, just that first experience, because it's just so different and just so overwhelming and so fascinating to like experience. Okay, now that we have the introductions done, we're gonna start where the K-pop experience truly begins, and that is concert ticketing. It is so stressful, and by listening to both of my friends' answers, I can truly say that it is stressful whenever you ticket. No matter what country, what city, it is so stressful, and it is so hard too because they just sell out so fast. But to get started, we're gonna go over what Risa said. So basically, she said for Japan, tickets determined by a lottery system actually. And basically what you have to do is you have to apply during like the application period when they announce like the concert. And basically this begins like 2 to 3 months in advance before the actual concert. And then for her, she also mostly goes with like friends, and or sometimes she does go alone if her and her friend's schedule like doesn't line up all the way. If like her friends like doesn't like the same group as she is, so she'll just like go alone. Yeah, so that was for Risa. And for Jane, she said in Korea it's a little bit similar to like what they do in the USA, I would say, but most of the time they use like ticket sites such as like Interpark, I know is very popular there, and also other sites. And she says choosing seats can be a nightmare too, because they also have like a queuing system before like the site actually lets you like buy tickets. So for James, she says it can like be really stressful, and it can like take up to like an hour to like choose your tickets, because you have to like choose a section and then like actual choose on like the seat, and then it might be like, oh, these seats are taken, you like have to do it all over again. She said though some people, there are some like kind of different hacks, so like you can pay for like people to do some like coding and stuff, so like you can immediately get the tickets, but that's what like some people do, I guess, is like an option there. She said that mostly in Korea, when people are getting tickets, that there are like restrictions, so like you can only get 1 or 2 tickets like per day per like account too, so you can't just like buy as many tickets as you want. So because of this like restriction, then you can't really sit with a friend, so a lot of times like people just like they go alone, or like they sit by themselves at the concert. And also there a lot of times they have like pre-sales, so like people with like fan membership has access to like pre-sale codes, like pre-sale tickets, so that's also a lot that they do in Korea, which I would say is pretty similar to how it is in the USA. I've had my fair share of ticketing wars, and most of the tickets are always done on like Ticketmaster. Basically is also like there's a queuing system, you have like a number, so I'm always like over 2,000 plus and stuff. So and then you'll be able to like have access to the ticketing, and then you can either like there's a scroll bar, so you can pick tickets through that way, or you can like zoom up and like pick the seats like in Korea. But usually for USA, the restriction is like up to like 4 to 6 tickets usually, so you can for sure go with like friends. And I think that is like, at least for me, I always mostly go with like friends or like my mom too. And we also have a lot of like the pre-sale codes, like people who are like who have the membership, then they can like apply for the pre-sale and get like a pre-sale code and have access to pre-sale sales. So that is I think Korea and the USA is a little bit more similar. Of course like Korea is like probably a lot more like difficult because there's just so much more people, I would say, I think, because there's just like everyone is buying tickets for like that. Mostly the concerts only in like Seoul and stuff, so like you have the whole country plus more getting tickets for Seoul, whereas the USA, they mostly have a few stops, so it's like maybe that the people like the Midwest like going to the Chicago stop and stuff. So I would say it's pretty similar. I think the very different like It's very different in Japan. You're not even guaranteed, like even if you want and have the money, you might not go if you like don't win the raffle, which I personally like would be like really heartbreaking for me, because like even if I like I'm like free that day, like because I didn't win a raffle that I can't go to this concert would be really sad. So yeah, I think that's just a really interesting way that Japan does it. The next question that I kind of asked them was, how do they kind of prepare for the concert? Like after they know they're going to the concert, they have their tickets, do they do anything like to prepare? You know, they like give out stuff, they go to different events, or they get like an outfit. So for Risa, she said that mostly the merchandise purchases, they begin it in advance. So she always kind of thinks about what she like wants to get if they like put out the merchandise. So she always looks at what she wants to get and kind of coordinate her purchases. For Jane, she said that she prepares like a lot of giveaway items. So in the USA, at least for me, I call them like freebies. And she said that she prepared little goodie bags to like give out to the fans before the concert, like at the concert. For me at least, it's a really nice way just to like get to know other fans and like start conversations. And I also personally love just making other people happy, like seeing their smiles on their face, because for me, the first concert I went to, at the BTS concert, I got so many like freebies that fans gave to me, and I never thought that like this was a thing, like people just like would give things to me like for free too. So that just, it made me so happy, and like it elevated so much. Like the concert didn't even begin, but like I'm already like feeling so like happy, like I'm getting all these like different goodies and stuff. And like, by the way, I also make like giveaway items for fans, and mostly I did it for like BTS concerts. I'll show a picture here. These are like some of the freebies that I gave out back when BTS did have their concerts. But like an example of the freebies also, like some that I got, is a lot of people make these bracelets. I feel like it's like a new, like maybe in the past like 2-3 years people have been doing this, but yeah. But it's really nice. So, like a lot of people make different bracelets, and it mostly has like a song name or like one of the idols' names on it. That was like all of James' answers too. It was just like she prepares giveaway items. For me, I mostly like to have like a little concert outfit prepared before, so I always kind of coordinate either with my friends or like just looking through my closet and looking at like the theme of the tour and kind of coordinating getting my outfit ready, which is always kind of fun to do. And yeah, then I do the freebies, and then sometimes I will go to like fan events. The next question I asked them is if there's like a certain section that they prefer, they like always get. So for Risa, she said that seating is like so random in Japan, so like you can't even decide. So she prefers like sitting on the floor or like the lower level on like the first floor, because it's like closer to them, so you'll like get more interactions and stuff. And then for Jane, she said she'll usually just get whatever she can get, because of course ticketing is like so stressful, so you'll just be grateful to even like go to the concert. But if she could choose, she'd also prefers the floor or like the center first floor, because I guess she like does not like the sides, because she likes to see the whole like show, I guess, if you like, with the lights and the screen and just the whole performance. And for me, I mostly like to get like the first floor. So not the floor, because in the USA it's mostly not seated, because it's mostly like general admission, so a lot of people are like just standing, so there's no seats for anyone. So I mostly just get the first floor. And I was surprised when Jane told me that she likes like the center, because I actually like the sides. I always sit on like the sides, because for me I feel like it's like closer to like the idols and stuff, because I want to like see them closer up. So I don't care as much about like seeing the whole show, because I just want to have like interactions with them. In summary, like it is stressful and difficult to get tickets wherever you are, no matter the place you are. But I would say I think Japan, it's just on another level with like the raffle system, and like you can't choose, so it is just like you get what you get. So I don't know if some people are like really lucky all the time, or I don't know, but yeah, it was just really interesting to hear that. And then with the USA and Korea, it's like pretty similar for that. Now another question I asked was like what type of venues are K-pop concerts usually held at in each country. In Japan, Risa said that mostly if it's like a group that's newer, they just debuted, they would kind of be in smaller venues or like little halls for their tours, and then as they grow their fan base, the venues usually get like bigger, and like most of the big groups that perform, they mostly perform at like concerts in domes. And then what James said usually depends on like the group you like and stuff. So it also, like, if it's a smaller group, they'll be like a smaller venue. If it's a bigger group, they'll of course be in like a bigger venue. And she said that what's most different is that like band and K-R&B sceners, they do prefer like outdoor festivals. And then of course, like, yeah, you're like K-pop group idol concerts and stuff are all mostly in like indoor venues, like domes, or if it's big, maybe a stadium, but mostly the domes or like arenas. And then for the USA, I would say it's also very similar. Of course, K-pop has been growing, but of course a lot of groups are still small, so a lot of them will like start out smaller. So I've been to a lot in like Rosemont Theater, like the Chicago Theater and stuff, so those are like 4,000 capacity. And then those bigger name groups, they will then perform in like arenas such as like Allstate Arena and then United Center are like the two big, I would say, like arenas. I've been to a few at Wintrust too. So yeah, it's just generally, yeah, arenas. And BTS, at least in Chicago, has played like at Soldier Field, but I know like twice, and I think Stray Kids now sold out like SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. So it does depend, because there are some really small venues, but then as they grow and as they grow their fan base, they have they can like sell out these huge football stadiums in America, which I think is really cool. Okay, so the next set of questions are more regarding to the actual concert day, but before the concert starts. The first question I asked both of them was, are concert days like a full day event for you? And can they like briefly describe the day of an average concert that like they go to, and like what time do they usually get there, and if they like hang out with people, if they get merchandise? So for Risa, she said that she usually gets to the venue about 2 hours before the concert begins to like pick up merchandise or like different goods and like take pictures. Then she'll like have a little like dinner, and then when the doors open, she'll go inside and take more pictures, and she doesn't really meet anyone in particular. And then for Jane, she said that she personally doesn't really line up for merchandise early in the morning anymore. She did do that a little bit more before, but now she doesn't really do that anymore. But it's still a full day event for her, because she has to like get ready, make all her like giveaways. Of course, also because in Korea it's like public transportation, so it also takes a while to like get to different places. She says though she doesn't spend too much time at the actual venue or like outside the venue because it's just too crowded. And she said though, like overall about like the merch thing is that people in Korea, it was more of a trend before, like years before, to like go early and wait for merch, but now it's like less overall, because people kind of focus more on like saving their energy for like the actual concert. And groups in Korea, a lot of the times now that they hold like pop-up shops for like maybe a few weeks during that like concert period, so there's like no need for people to like line up like really early for merchandise anymore, because they can already get it at the pop-up store. Yeah, that was like her answer. And for me, I would say also a concert day is a very full event for me. It's very similar to Risa's, I would say, is that I always go a few minimum 2 hours early. Mostly the doors open 2 hours before the concert actually starts, so I like to, depending on the group, I'll get there like, if it's a group that like I know that there's a lot of different like events going on around the venue, or if there's like merchandise that I really want to get, because in the USA, waiting in line early for merchandise is still a really big thing. So if there's like merchandise that I really want to get, then I will go early. Usually I'll just go like 2 hours or maybe like 3 hours in advance before the concert actually starts, and I usually get some freebies, give some freebies, take some photos around the venue, and then I'll go inside once the doors open. And then once I'm inside, I'll usually take pictures too. I usually don't eat dinner. Like I never like buy food at the venue because it's so expensive, and for me I can never eat at a concert because I just get so like jittery, I guess. Like I can't digest anything because I'm like too excited. So I'll try to like have a lunch or maybe like light meal at like 3 p.m. or something. Usually fine, like I just live off of the concert hype. But yeah, that's for me like a description of my day of a K-pop concert. This is also kind of similar, but I asked them if there's like any common rituals or like fan behaviors or like fans participate before the concert in like their respective countries. And Risa said Japan doesn't do anything in particular, but a lot of times people like exchange goods, which is like very similar to like the freebies, which the USA does and Korea does. Yeah, that's what Jane also said, very similar. She said in Korea, they often will like play the group's music around the venue a lot. She also said because many of the venues that the concerts are held at are in the city, there's a lot of cafes and restaurants that people can like eat and like hang around. So a lot of times the fans will maybe like hold events there, which is also very similar to the ones in the USA because a lot of times people will have like what I call like cup sleeve events. So like at a boba shop, they'll give like cup sleeves like these out that has like the idol's picture and a cute little thing. So it's like if you buy a drink, then you'll get a free cup sleeve. And then mostly there's like photo booths and like other fans there, and then like photo cards and like you can take pictures and stuff. So it's a really like cool place that you can just kind of be with other fans. So I just found that was kind of interesting. Is it's like very similar like Korea and like the USA, which probably I would say the USA adopted from like the Korean like fan culture. She also said that sometimes though in Korea, because it is like usually like the kickoff or like the start or like end of the tour, depending on the group and stuff, some companies they'll hold like a big festival almost outside the venue or like a space somewhere that fans can go to. Different like brands that the K-pop group are like ambassadors for, and those brands will like give out different free stuff or like kind of cute mascots of the group kind of just walking around like different photo op places. She also said that in Korea, dance covers are not really a thing. Like people don't really dance, which in the USA is a big thing because a lot of people film like dance cover videos outside the venue, or like they'll have like random play dances, so where people just kind of go in the middle and like dance to random songs that play, which is a really big thing for like culture in the USA for concerts. So I guess that's not a thing in Korea. Yeah, that was like another big difference. She also said like personally, she usually doesn't go to I guess these like kind of pre-concert events because it's just like, really crowded. And so, yeah, what she'll do is she'll just hang out with like the friends that she's going with or who likes the same group and stuff, and they'll just hang out before the concert. So that's I guess two sides of maybe what people do in Korea. And then the next question I asked is all regarding like merchandise and like what type of merchandise they sell and like how important it is to them or how fast they usually sell out and stuff. And for Risa, she said that in Japan everyone buys these, they call it uchiwa fans. And what uchiwa fans are is this. In America we call them pickets. So I guess yeah, in Japan these are really popular. And she said before like COVID-19, there were a lot of stories about people getting injured actually like at the venue in line at like midnight or like really early in the morning because these uchiwa fans would be sold out like so quickly. And for her, she's done that, and like she's even had to have like other people buy it for her because she wasn't able to like get an uchiwa fan or like go that early. But she said now though in Japan, a lot of groups when they tour, they'll have a like pre-order merchandise, so like people can pre-order what they want online, and then when they go to the actual concert you can just pick it up, which I think is just so efficient. Like I would love to have that because it's just like it would save so much waiting, so much time. Also like it's a lot more safer I think too. She said it is hard in Japan waiting though before like it sells out really quickly, so like if people like went to work first and then went to the venue for the concert, that a lot of the goods would be sold out maybe before if they don't do the pre-order thing. Yeah, but basically she said they sell a lot of like these Uchiwa fans, pen lights, t-shirts, accessories, photo cards, bags, slogans, acrylic, keychains, and like etc. And then for Jane, she said that I kind of mentioned this before, but people are a little bit less crazy about merchandise in Korea. I guess like in terms of like waiting really early in the morning or like waiting really long lines to get merchandise. And she said they do sell out, but like they usually do have like things available right before the concert, like after the concert. And then she does say though, in Korea, a lot of people, they like merchandise that are like useful and practical, such as like a bag, or like I've seen umbrellas, or like a windbreaker, like stuff that's like, I guess like yeah, more useful. And they also, in Korea, they really like dolls and plushies as merchandise, and like stuff that's like trendy at the time, I guess. Like she said nowadays, at least for her, like she thinks that less posters or less like wanted and stuff, it's more just like photo cards, because posters are really big and you don't have much space. So photo cards are nice and easy that a lot of people also do really like. And merchandise is actually something that I really wanted to bring up, because personally for me, I love getting merchandise, and I have gotten a lot over the years. And for me, when I went to the BTS concerts, those sell out so fast, and I really wanted different items and stuff. And shipping is also so expensive, so it's like it's so much cheaper just to get the goods like at the venue during the concert. I often like the merchandise in like Asia, so like Japan's or Korea's merch, because it is a lot different. Like they sell different like t-shirts even, or like hoodies, and to me the ones in Asia is just a little bit less like noticeable. It's not like it says the whole like group's name. It's like a little bit more like it has like kind of some, it can like look trendy like James said, and it's also a lot more useful. Like they have like actual like nice like cool goods. But in America, I do have some like sample merchandise that I've like collected over the years. But right now I'm wearing like the Hypen tour merch. You can see from the back. But I really like it has like just a little like moons on like the front, which I think is like really cool, and like no one, if you just saw this, no one would think it's like in Hype. And of course if you saw the back, maybe. These are like some of the styles that have like been sold at the US tours and stuff. So this is for P1 Harmony, and for me this is just like a Western tour t-shirt. Like they just put the artist's face on a t-shirt, on like a black t-shirt, and there's just like the tour dates on the back. And for me, like I'll still buy it, but I don't like this style, and I think in Korea it's just so much like cuter and like stylish, and it's more subtle, the merch. So this is like for the boys, and it's just like, yeah, it just has their little logo in the corner. There's just nothing, like no like design specialty to it. And this is like Stray Kids, just says Maniac and then the tour dates on the back, so it's very repetitive. And I think for like K-pop fans in the USA, like you will accumulate so many black t-shirts or like white plain t-shirts. This is an Hypen hoodie actually from the tour from Korea, and I think it's just a lot, like one, the quality is so much nicer, it's a lot thicker, and then it just says like Walk the Line, which is like the name of the tour. And I just like the hoodie, they didn't have this tour yet in like America, but like I just think the design is just so much nicer for tours in Asia. And they also just have a more variety of goods. So for me personally, I like those useful, practical goods, and I think a lot of fans would say the same thing in like the USA and stuff, but we just don't get that, which is really sad. And then waiting in line for the USA, it has gotten a lot better, but people do go really early to get merchandise, and I am also one of those people. Me, I think the earliest I went was for like BTS concerts, so I went maybe like 12 a.m. the day before, like midnight, so I waited like maybe 10 hours. I think the longest I waited was 14 hours. And it's mostly always sold out too. Like it always sells out like the sizes or like the goods. So yeah, it's not efficient in the USA. And people like go and just wait outside for hours to get the merchandise, which is really crazy, but you know, people will do that. Yeah, so that is on like merchandise, it's really different how each country has merchandise and like, the pre-concert events kind of go. And yeah. Okay, so the next questions I asked them were more on just general questions about like K-pop concerts. So to start, I asked them if there's any like common demographic of people that they observe at the concert, or is like common for people to travel. So for Risa, she said that most people are young women, and there are like some men though, and mostly for like really popular idols, you can see people of their like mother's generation also coming, so I guess like kind of like parents and stuff. And fans are also from overseas too often, and a lot of times people will like travel to a different city within Japan to go to a concert that's pretty normal there. For example, like if the tour is announced and it will only be like held in Tokyo, then everyone in Japan will go to Tokyo for the concert. For James, she said that it really depends on like the group. So if it's like a boy group, then like 90% of people will be female, and like they'll be also like younger, I guess kind of like our age, yeah, younger people. And it also depends on like the K-pop group, but depending on it, there are like can be quite a bit of foreigners. For example, like the group 17 and Hypen, they have a really big fan base in China and Japan, so a lot of people will fly to Korea for the concert, especially because K-pop idols they can't hold concerts in China, and people will travel to like other districts for the concert. So for example, like if people live in like another district in like Korea, such as like Busan, they'll like come the day before and then like they'll stay overnight for the concert. And also, since like Korea usually is like the start of the tour or like the end of the tour, a lot of foreigners will like want to kind of experience that like that first concert and that like anticipation. So a lot of foreigners will actually fly and go to the concert. So yeah, she said like foreigners in concerts at Korea are like increasing more and more, especially with like the globalization of K-pop. And for me, I think in the USA, it's similar but also very diverse, because like the USA is very a mixture of like cultures, like a melting pot, that at K-pop concerts there's actually so many ethnicities and so many types of people there. When I first got into K-pop, I remember me and my mom were thinking like, wow, like there are so many people who like not Asian who are like liking like this music that is Asian, like these people who are like Asian. And that was just very surprising to us. But yeah, I feel like as the years have been going on, there have been so many like there are like Latinas, African Americans, like Asians, Caucasians, just all of the above of like different types of people. And I just think that is so cool, and just like really goes to show that K-pop has the ability to really transcend like all differences, like ethnicities, nationality, languages, and really able to like really bring together a community of people. I also would agree though, it does depend on the group, but I normally only go to boy groups, so like at those concerts it is generally 90% women. I would say there's some like men here and there, but for like Blackpink, when I went, there was a lot more men who went to the concert, which I found was really interesting. Like it makes sense, but it was just very different than other K-pop concerts that I went to, which I think was really cool. But like younger, their like mom will come too. Like my mom came with me in the past. In America, it's very common, much more now I think, to like travel for different K-pop concerts. A lot of fans, especially because since a lot of K-pop groups will only go to major cities such as like LA, San Francisco, Chicago, New York, those like surrounding states or other states, like they will never have the opportunity to go to a K-pop concert. So many people will fly to like a stop that's closer to them and stuff, and make it like a little trip. So I don't think, yeah, it's not uncommon for people to travel. I think whenever I go to concerts, I always meet someone, they're like never from the actual state and stuff. Like then if I'm at a Chicago concert, they're never like from Chicago. They're always like, oh, I'm from Florida, I'm from Minnesota, like Missouri, or like sometimes people also like, will go to multiple stops. Like people will go to the California stop and the Chicago stop and New York, and they'll even sometimes will follow the artist on tour, like to all the stops. And yeah, so it's not uncommon at all for people to travel. I traveled for concerts too. I went to like LA for a concert and have kind of experienced that same experience of traveling for a concert. And I think it's like kind of cool too, because even when I went to like LA on my flight, there was so many other like, it was a BTS concert, so there's so many other like armies, like BTS fans who were on the same flight going to like LA, and I found that was just so cool. And like everyone at the hotel was also going to the like concert, and I thought that was just such a cool experience. The next question I asked them was if people like usually go alone or with like friends or family to K-pop concerts. And Risa said in Japan, people mostly do go with friends and family, and like she said before, like sometimes people's moms will come with them. And then for Jane, like I mentioned before about, it's like really hard to like get tickets next to your friend. So usually what she'll do is she'll go with friends. If like they're going to the same concert, they like go to the venue together and spend time before the concert together. But then once they go inside the venue, they like separate and go to their separate seats. And then so you're like going with people but also alone. Kids will normally like go with like parents, like family, because of course they are like a little bit too young to go by themselves. And I would say that it's a little different compared to America. It's a little bit more similar to Japan. I think a lot of people will normally go with friends. I think it's some people will go alone for sure. I have went alone to a concert before, but normally people will go with friends, or like if they are like younger, then they'll go with like one of their family members or like a parent, which I have experienced I think all before. Mostly I go with friends, but sometimes it is hard to like find people who like the same group, like have the ability to spend like the same amount of money on a ticket as you to to like coordinate that. So go either with family, either with friends, or sometimes alone to like different concerts. The next question I asked them was like, to just describe the overall atmosphere of a K-pop concert in their country, and like if people like are friendly or like if they make new friends. And for Risa, she said that often if people like go to the concert alone, then like they'll make friends with like people sitting next to them, or like they'll find people to go like with on Twitter. So like people are pretty friendly, and a lot of people will make new friends at a concert. And for James, she said that people are also really friendly in Korea. People like trade different like goodies, or like will be giving out different things, and like people will like talk and get to know different people around them, and they'll like make friends. And I think that's really similar to the concerts in America. For me, that's one of my favorite things about K-pop concerts, is just how friendly everyone is. And like it's just like this boundary is already like lifted, because you already know that that person also loves the same group, loves the same music, and like has watched the same videos as you. So you have that like common knowledge and common shared love and interest. So it's really easy just to like get to know people, and like everyone knows you have like the same inside jokes and everything, which is like really fun. And it's really like I love getting to know new people. And honestly, for me, like I love like keeping up with the people that I meet at different concerts. So it's been really cool. Like even for my first concert, I like followed the girl I met in line on Instagram, and like I still see what she's up to like now. And I met people from like all over the world to like the different concerts, like events I've been to. I like know people who are from like South America, like Brazil, and also people from like Ohio, Florida, California, Australia, New Zealand, like the Philippines, and like just like my two friends like James and Risa from like Japan and Korea. It's like so cool, and I just love how everyone is so friendly, and I just love the atmosphere. And actually, when I visited South Korea last year, I went to like WeVisCon, which is basically a festival. So they have like an outdoor festival and then like an indoor festival. So I did go alone to that concert, and I met a girl next to me, and like we really got to know each other, and it was really fun. Like we like would like have fun together like during the songs. We'd be like talking, like took some photos and everything. It was just so fun, and I love getting to know people like that. And I still sometimes will like text her every now and then. Like she lives in the Philippines too, so she also traveled for the concert, and I think that it's just so cool to me. Just the whole environment, everyone is just so friendly and so nice and so kind. Now the next set of questions are in regards to being at the actual concert. So the first question was regarding like how do fans show support and like admiration during the performance? So are they like chanting, light sticks, fan chants, etc. So for Risa, she said that light sticks are so important, and they also in Japan that they make like their own original message. Fans like decorate it with like their bias's name on it so it like stands out, so like hopefully that the idol can like read it and see it. So that's what like they do to like show their support, is they just have their light sticks and they have like different signs or slogans that they make. For Jane, she said that also light sticks. Basically everyone has light sticks, and it's like a must to experience like the full atmosphere, because like really everyone has it, and that's like kind of to show that they support, because it lights up in the whole like concert venue, and that's what the artist sees. So that, and also like the official fan chants, a lot of times, especially like the title track songs for a group, they'll release like an official fan chant, so like fans will often like memorize that, and it kind of goes along with like the full performance and song, because maybe like the artist will sing something and then like the fans will echo that and stuff. So I think that's like really cool. And she said also in Korea, like there's also just a lot of screaming, and like people, especially people who are like close to the stage, because they can actually like get the attention of the idols on stage because they're like that close, and they there's like, you know, like scream out their names, like try to get some type of interaction or like acknowledgement. And I would say in the USA, there's a lot of screaming, post making, and light sticks. So I actually just like to show, if some of you don't know what a light stick is, but I have a few here. So this is like the boys, and it's basically just, it has like a wristlet and has a light, and you hold it during a concert, and a lot of people, in my experience, a lot of people like do this and stuff. So each group has like their own, so there's a lot of different like types and shapes. So these are just like a few. This is like NCT. They also like have different versions, which I think is cool. So like for like BTS, they have like the version 3 version 1, 2, and then they have like the special edition one. And then so this is what like fans always take to a concert or buy at the concert. And this is the K-pop culture, I would say. It's just, and they will connect to the concert, so like it'll be coordinated to the music, which I think is really cool. It really makes like the whole atmosphere, and it really adds to the concert, because you're not just looking at the actual artist, but especially for people up high in the nosebleed seats, is like they are watching a full show, and the fans are like a part of it. Like they are not just like people watching the artist, but they're also a part of the show. We also make a lot of like signs too. I have a few that I made, I guess, like get attention. And of course, in America, a lot of people scream. Screaming is like number one. Before, during, after. The next one is how do like K-pop idols kind of engage with fans, like be closer. And for both Korea and Japan, they use these like carts, they call them, especially in like larger venues such as like domes. They like have a cart, so it'll go on the floor and it will go around the stadium, or like around the arena. So it'll be so like people in the back of like the arena can like really see them up close, because they're not on the stage, but they're actually like going around on these moving carts around the stadium saying hi to fans during like a song. And that is what Risa said, and that is what also James said. And then for like smaller venues was also very similar for both Japan and Korea. They'll say like Japan, Risa said that sometimes the artist will go to the front of the stage, or like the front of like the row, and they'll kind of do some like fan service and like sit at the front and like kind of listen to fans and like what they have. And those are for like smaller groups though. For like Korea, James said that for smaller groups, sometimes they will actually like go around and walk around the venue and like high five different fans and stuff and have those interactions. For America, I would say that most concerts do not have the moving carts, mostly because of like the layout of the arenas that they perform at. The floor is just like people. There's no room for like carts or like for even them to like come down and stuff. But I have seen like at SoFi Stadium when I saw like BTS, they did have those moving carts going around. So like it really did help because you could see them a lot closer than like when they were at the big stage. And then for like smaller arenas, I would say it's also very similar. I have seen some groups, they have like come down into the actual crowd or like walked in the aisles and like high five different fans. Like I know P1 Harmony, like TXT, and Hypen did that during one of their songs, and I think that is really nice. And then also a big thing for like before the concert, but a lot of people I know also in Korea and also similar to like the USA is they'll have people who have VIP tickets, so like who are of course close to the stage, they'll have like sound check, or sometimes now in the USA they'll have like things called send off. Like before they had like high touch where people could like give each other's high fives and stuff. So what like sound check usually like gives is like they'll have like these lanyards that they'll like give to like VIP people, and then they have like early access to merchandise, and then they can participate in like a sound check where like the artists just come out and sing a few songs and kind of interact with fans, and then sometimes they'll have more, it depends. I then asked them like etiquette, like taking photos, like videos during a concert. And for Japan, they are not allowed to take any like photos or videos during the concert. They'll only really, if they can, maybe if like the management company says it's okay, then they can take photos, but that really rarely happens, which I feel so bad because I love taking concert videos and concert photos, so I don't know how I would like survive if I was there. In Korea, you can take a lot of photos and videos throughout the concert, and that is fine. They can actually, like venues actually allow like big fan site cameras too in the venues, which was really surprising for me because in like the USA, security is very, very important. It's like taking those big like long lens cameras, you cannot do that in the USA. So yeah, and like I also said before, like America, you can take as much as like the videos and photos as you want. And then regarding like light sticks again, I asked if there's any like expectations with the light sticks, like different fan events, like if there's any like coordinated fan projects. For Risa, she said not really, it's just pretty basic with like the fan sign, and then they have like the slogans and stuff. And then for James, she said that usually they'll have like their slogan time. So basically during the slogan time, I have like an example here, but usually like fans will have like a slogan, and every city will have like a different one, and then they'll have like a slogan time during the concert where the fans will just hold it up so like the artist can see, and it's a nice like fan artist moment. And then in Korea, they also do this like, card sorting like section events. So like under like this seat, they'll have like a certain colored card or something, and then at the right time, everyone will hold this up, and then like the artists themselves, they can see maybe like a word spelled out like I love you, or like something like that, like even like happy birthday if it's like one of the members' birthday or something. So yeah, they'll have like those type of events. So those events are like fans plan it, but they like contact the like company, so like they can like coordinate how to distribute all like the different things and how the event will work. I would say for America, have like light stick etiquette is like to mostly like, keep your light stick like by your face, like don't like wave it up all the time because that's just annoying and will ruin like other people's view and stuff. And then also we will have like the slogan like time, so yeah, we'll just like kind of like hold up things like we will stay, or like yeah, it's like different like slogans that they can read and see. So yeah, so just like a few that I guess I've had. Yeah, that's basically for the USA. There's mostly not too many like coordinated fan projects other than the slogans. Ask them if there's any like specific culture norms, like fan behaviors at concerts. For Risa, she just said, yeah, everyone has a light stick. They all wave it around, and then I guess during ballad songs, actually, everyone will clap, which I thought was cool and interesting. It's like different than what we would do in the US. And then after the artist leaves, they always clap at the end. And for Risa, she stands up when like the artists are there, and then she sits back down when they like leave the stage and stuff. So that was like her answer. And then for James, she said, yeah, most of the time, like since concerts are like seat based with like no standing section, so people will like normally I guess sit. But if an artist like tells them to stand up, like dance and jump around, then they will immediately like go up and like have fun and yeah, and like dance. And like an example of that is like during the 17 concert, they play one of their songs called Are You Nice, which is a song known for like people like jump around and have fun together. She also said that it's very common for people who want like interactions to always like make signs and slogans. Something that I did want to bring up was when I was actually at that festival in Korea, something that really surprised me was that everyone at the outdoor like festival, everyone sat down. Everyone had like picnic blankets and had umbrellas to cover from the sun, and that was kind of like a culture shock for me because I knew that like a lot of people do sit down at concerts in Korea, but I didn't expect it to be like outside too. I thought people would like be standing like in America, because I've been to like Lollapalooza, like those outdoor festivals, so that is what I'm like used to. And that was kind of really cool experience. The staff really enforced like sitting down, because sometimes when the artists would come out, everyone wants like to see them closer, of course, so people will start to kneel or like start standing, but the staff would be like, no, sit down, go back down. So yeah, and that I found was like really cool. I really enjoyed it. It was like very different, and I feel like I could really see too, which was really helpful. When you're up front though, like it's not helpful, because since they have like a gate and stuff, and if you're sitting down, the gate is blocking your view, so it's not good to be that close up at a festival like that. Whereas of course America, you would be like right next to the stage. That would be amazing. So I thought that's like a little like different thing to point out at like I guess festivals. I'm sure maybe other festivals in Korea are probably different. Maybe it was just like the one that I went to. But yeah, that one was like a culture shock for me, and I think but it was a really cool experience though, for sure. And I would say for the USA, no one sits at K-pop concerts. Everyone is always standing up and screaming. Kind of like similar to like Risa, like when they like leave the stage and like change, then everyone will like sit down while like a VCR plays of them, and then they'll stand back up once the VCR ends and we know that they're coming back out again. And then yeah, like I said before though, people like keep their signs to like a little down low, so it's not covering like the people around them. I feel like USA is pretty loose, and it's not like too strict, because everyone's like, you paid for your ticket, you can experience it however you like. Then I asked them about what happens after the concert. So how do fans like typically leave the concert? Like, is there a tendency to do something or to not do something? So for Risa, she said that everyone goes straight to dinner, and they often like run into each other, like other fans at like the different restaurants, like where they eat. And then everyone is also like really in a hurry after the concert, because trains will be like really crowded if you like don't leave the venue early enough. Yeah, so like she said, in the aspect it's not quiet because it's really like chaotic, because everyone's trying to like get on public transportation, like try to like find their way home, like eating like dinner, like getting a snack, like a meal. So that's what they do in Japan. Korea, it's also very similar. How Jane described it to me was, it's just the atmosphere. Everyone's of course like really excited because like the concert just ended. They like just saw their like favorite people in the world, and it's just a really nice atmosphere. And it's like you're never around like the people who also love the same interest as you do, and like just being in the atmosphere is really nice. But she says it's like really crowded and chaotic because also people also trying to get on public transportation to go home because no one like drives there, or, like drives to concerts in Korea. Everyone just takes the public transportation, so it gets like really crowded there, and it's not necessarily quiet because it's just there's so much things going on and everyone's trying to like move and get to different places. In a time though, she also says it's very common though that everyone will like share videos and photos on social media of the concert right away. And I think in the USA, I would say it's not necessarily a quiet exit. Everyone is pretty, just like in Korea, like after the concerts, like everyone's really excited. Everyone's like screaming and yelling and like sometimes crying, or like just really having a good time, enjoying like just soaking up the last essence of being in this atmosphere with everyone. Everyone mostly in the USA, they drive to concerts or they like get dropped off, so there's a lot of like people going to their cars, like people trying to leave the venue, and there's people like lining up to get picked up, so there's always so many cars like being backed up and the traffic is really bad, so it always takes a long time to get out of the venue. And for me personally, I always, if I like drive there, then we either leave really early and try to get out, or we like kind of stay in the car and just chill until like it kind of clears out. Or if I get picked up, I always have to like walk really far from the venue, so it's just easier to like get out and we don't have to like deal with all that traffic. Sometimes though, less now, but sometimes people would like know where the artists are like leaving the venue at and stuff, so people would wait around that gate to like say bye to the artist when they leave, like go into the vans and stuff. So I've done that a couple of times too. So sometimes like people will just like gather and wait outside for them to leave and stuff, so sometimes it's a little bit louder in that aspect. But also like the people at the venue, they just want to like get people out and stuff because they want to close things up and clean things out and stuff. So everyone, they're telling people like, oh please go outside now, like we're closed, let's in the traffic, and people get out and stuff. I asked them like after the concert if it's common for people to like do anything like eat food or like hang out with people after the concert. And for Risa, she said in Japan, like I also said before, like they get dinner, so they eat food and then they like take photos kind of after, and a lot of times they always like listen to like the songs that were played at the concert. But James, she said that sometimes also, since like public transportation doesn't run that late, once like the concert ends, a lot of people will like book hotels and Airbnbs there and just like stay overnight, so they'll like have a meal together and like just like talk and share videos or photos that they have, and just like talk about like what was so good about it or like what could be better, and just like the highlights and of the concert. And sometimes they like will stay up all night just talking and like won't go to sleep because it's just like so hard because you're just like living off of that concert hype. And I think for me, since I always like drive or like get dropped off at the venue and like go with friends, I'll drive back home mostly. Sometimes I'll stop by like McDonald's a lot of times with my friends, and then we'll like get like ice cream or like chicken nuggets or like fries and like have that. A few times I made ramen. I'll always have water because my throat will always be really dry, but yeah, mostly I'll do that. And then after, I never sleep after a concert because I just I don't feel like tired, and I always just like want to watch like all and look through all the photos and videos that I took. And then I also of course want to like post and share the photos and the videos on like social media, like with different friends. Or if like a friend is staying over like after the concert, then we'll just be like talking about it, and we'll like also not go to sleep, and we'll have like a concert debrief, as we call it. So yeah, that's what I think we do in the USA. It's also pretty similar, I would say, as like Korea and Japan. I think it's very universal to like eat food and like talk with people about the experience and the shared experience that you just had. Now, with our last and few final questions, I asked Risa and James about what's their favorite part about K-pop concerts. Now Risa said her favorite parts are just like the overall performance and to their outfits and costumes with their hair and makeup done, and then also like the set list that a lot of times the artist chooses themselves, like on what songs to perform at the concert. It just really makes her happy. And then Jane, she said that she really enjoys because in Korea the price of a concert ticket isn't like crazy expensive, so it's pretty affordable to like go and enjoy yourself. And she just really enjoys the atmosphere of like being surrounded by people who enjoy the same music as her. How she said it, and I loved how she said it, it's something you can only enjoy at a K-pop concert, because at other concerts they don't have light sticks or fan chants or slogans or like, and like fans aren't like as friendly, and they won't just be giving out different like goodies or freebies to like people, and they won't be like just talking to other people. Those things and those experiences, those like activities, and they're just only something that you can experience at a K-pop concert. Additionally, like K-pop idols themselves just have so much to offer, because they like will always be singing or like dancing and rapping, and it's a whole performance and show that they put on. And additionally with like the lights and just the music and acoustics, it's an amazing show to experience and watch. For me personally, I think it's just a combination of the two. I love going to K-pop concerts because I just love the atmosphere. I love being around like other people who like have the same interests as me, and who like, for me I call it like who understand me, like understand like my dedication and love that I have for these artists, and like understand the songs that I listen to every day, and like what those songs mean. I also just love K-pop idols. There's so many of them are just so talented. I love being with people and also just seeing the artists themselves, because I spend so much of my own effort and time and money just admiring these people, and I get to see them in person doing what I watch them do just like on a screen, and I think that's just really cool. Finally, I asked them if there was like anything else that was like different in their country that they think really stood out, or any like additional final thoughts that they just want other people to know about concerts in their country. And for Risa, she said that she just really wished that she could take videos in Japan, but she did say that she does appreciate, because at concerts, K-pop idols will say that they do like everyone like doesn't have a smartphone like in front of them, and they're not like looking through a smartphone, and like they're actually looking at them performing. They can also like see that those idols are like looking at them, and so then it makes her think that maybe the no like filming is a good thing in like Japanese concert culture. And I think that's a really cool perspective to put it, and I think that is also really nice, because I am someone who does like film a lot of videos, but I do know that like a lot of people, they like to just experience it in the moment, and I have friends who like that too, that like they don't film anything and they will just watch and like just really experience it live. And I think that's also just something to really respect. I think it would be also like thinking of if I was like a K-pop idol performing, if I just saw everyone looking at their phones, or like their phones on me, like it would be nice like to really see like their eyes and their faces, and not just like a phone covering them. I could see why like K-pop idols would appreciate Japan for doing that. For James, she said that just always has like been on her heart that she wanted to share, was that like in America everyone is very like, their energy is very off the charts, everyone screams, and they're just known for like very high energy. And then maybe Korea might seem a little bit less, because everyone is more like seated, and they will mostly only like, you know, scream when prompted, or like will like follow the artist tell them to like get up and stuff. But she just wants them to know that like the concerts in Korea are just as energetic, and they show just as much support. And yeah, they will use their light sticks, they will scream, and yeah, so that's just something that she really wanted to share about concerts in Korea. Yeah, and that basically concludes like all the questions in the interview that I had with both of them. So I do just want to thank both Risa and Jane for just sharing their experiences with me, and just being open, and really sharing also their culture with me and with all of you too. Yeah, so now that we know the experience of a whole K-pop concert from start to finish in 3 different countries, Japan, South Korea, and the USA, Now it's time to take those experiences to answer the ultimate question of how do fans experience K-pop concerts, and how does this reflect the broader role of live music events in shaping the consumption of music for today's youth. So I just really think that K-pop concerts are just a really unique and immersive and like it's a really high energy experience that really just goes to show that live music events are just an essential way of today's youth of like showing their love and adoration and energy, and it shows a way of how younger generations just consume music now. Like live concerts are such an essential part of the music industry, and people are always yearning to have that live experience because it's a different experience listening to like headphones, or let's say like these CDs or like these albums, these physical albums, compared to like an actual live concert. And goes to show like K-pop concerts are like a whole experience. So like you're not just consuming like the actual song, but you're consuming a full show. So it just shows that people nowadays, they just love like being immersed in like an experience when it comes to like a concert. Choreography, the performance, the stage lights, the stage effects, and just all of the above that goes into like making a concert, and like even like the people around them. It just shows that like live music events in general, they're becoming more than just performances. Now you can experience it with all 5 senses. These live music events, they just provide a more richer and more personal connection that people can have with the music in a concert that listening to a song through like digital formats just can't like compare or like replicate compared to like experiencing a song being performed at a live concert. Additionally, I think a big thing that just goes to show us like people are just becoming more aware of different cultures in different parts of the world is that K-pop concerts just really have the ability to transcend languages, ethnicities, nationalities, religion, just all the above, and like status, and it really can bring together a group of people who like don't know each other, but yeah, and it creates friendships, and people want to be a part of a community. They want to be around other people, and they want to have they want to have friends with the same interests, and they want to belong somewhere. And K-pop has that ability to allow someone to feel like they belong somewhere, that they've like connected to that fandom, or they can feel connected to that artist. And that K-pop really has a way of making fandoms really and people just like unite as one. K-pop concerts allows a space that this community, this fandom, can get together in person and just show their love and be together and feel like they belong with that artist. And I think that that's just an amazing thing, especially in this like day and age, that people can, no matter what people look like, no matter their like beliefs, that still can relate to each other about K-pop and have a shared experience together. I just think one of the most like powerful aspects of K-pop is just the ability to bridge culture gaps and like attract just such a big global audience. Just with the rise of K-pop and like the globalization of it, people and fans will like again, like I mentioned before, people will travel to see their favorite artists perform, and holding different concerts in different places allow and foster that initial step to make those different travels. And I think that's just such an amazing thing, because not only will people travel for the artist, but oftentimes people will visit and get to know that new culture and make it into a little vacation. And yeah, they'll learn about a new culture that they would have never known about or even took the time to learn if it wasn't for that K-pop concert that they went to. I also think that as like music today is just so global, it shows that today's youth is really open to learning and experiencing new things, and it really reflects that the broader trend of music consumption by like today's youth is just a really globalized experience. And geographic location now isn't necessarily a barrier anymore. Language is not a barrier anymore, and artists and people can be like celebrated just worldwide and together with like people that you don't even know, but you can celebrate and enjoy the same thing even across the world and like different time zones and different countries. Additionally, I think as we went through the whole shebang of a K-pop concert, I think it just really goes to show that how live concerts can really accelerate and create this cyclical consumption model of how people like consume music before a live concert. For example, just like in some of our examples and like even in my personals, before a concert we always listen to the music before going to the concert, or we watch different videos to kind of get us hyped up and get us ready and kind of in that like zone and like excitement. And I think live concerts incentivize fans to just consume the artist's content, such as like merchandise or videos or like reality shows or like streaming events or different pre-concert events, and that has now really become an integral part of the concert itself. Like the concert is not just the concert, but now we get sucked into this cycle of getting the tickets to consuming content until we go to the actual concert, and then we share and post and then talk about our experiences, and then we go back as we buy new concert tickets for other tours. Also at K-pop concerts, I really think that fans really develop like an emotional connection to these artists, and they really find a big part of identity in them. Live concerts really allow fans to really allow these emotional bonds to just experience them in real life, and not just to be something like materialized, but it's real. And I think it really helps fans just feel a greater sense of belonging and connection to the music and to other fans and the artists. And I think that's just a really beautiful way that K-pop concerts and live music concerts have been able to do for today's youth. Alright, so we went through so much, from how to get concert tickets to the experience to light sticks to fan chants, leaving the concert, and there's just so much that I in this podcast didn't even touch on about K-pop concerts. I know I personally have learned so much about K-pop concerts in Japan and Korea, and I really appreciated just knowing like the differences and culture differences between the countries. And I think that's really eye-opening and something that people can really learn from. And I think that also just shows a lot about not just concerts in general, but also just like the culture in each country and like what each country believes and their values. And I think that's just really cool. So now, just to conclude, through this podcast, through these interviews that I did with Risa and Jane, and just also sharing my own experiences, I think that overall K-pop concerts are they reflect just a broader cultural shift where live music events are no longer simply about just enjoying music in a traditional sense. They're now an immersive experience, and it really blends fandom, technology, globalization, and just even an emotional resonance for people. And for today's youth, it's not just something that it's like consumed passively, but it's dynamic and social, and it's very personalized and high energy, and it really transcends all age, gender, nationality, race, geography, location, language, and it transcends everything. There's evidence that shows that K-pop concerts and K-pop in general has the power to do that. I think in this day of age, as streaming services such as Spotify or Apple Music are really the dominant way that people consume and listen to music these days, it's just really important to remember the effect and impact that live music events can have. And I think that events like K-pop concerts, it really offers an essential space where fans and people can experience music as an event and as an experience, like we've just been discussing this whole podcast. And it really provides a community where people can feel like they belong and feel like that they can make friends in and feel safe. And that is just something that is so important for today's youth, where people feel like they can express themselves and they can feel happy in. That K-pop concerts just helps bring that out, and I think it just really goes to show that the centrality of K-pop concerts in the consumption of music in today's youth. Now we are coming to a full conclusion, and we have discussed so much and went so in depth about the whole K-pop experience, and now this episode is coming to a close. Oh, I'm so grateful I just had the opportunity to just share my experiences and talk with Risa and Jane and share their experiences, and I'm so grateful, and I want to just thank them both for just being so open with me and sharing their experiences. And yeah, thank you for watching and listening to this episode of the K in K-pop. Hope to see you next time, and have a great rest of your day.